and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Don't you love it when you see somebody who's a jagoff politician get raked over the coals? Don't you love it when you just see somebody who's so smug get owned? Now, I don't know how the South Carolina primary will play out, but here we go. In a moment of peace, Trump supporters, in the off chance you see this video, I want you to deliver for me. That's right. This boy from Chicago is telling you to do something. The South Carolina primary, all of you have to show up to vote. I don't care if you're about to get married, witness the birth of your firstborn child, you're about to serve overseas, be sentenced to jail, whatever. You do everything you can to turn out to vote, because I got to tell you, if what I think is going to happen in South Carolina, it will be pure gold. It will be outstanding. Because Nikki, that's not her name, Haley. Nikki, that's not her name, Haley, is, well, oh, goodness gracious cretaceous. She's about to get destroyed. I mean, I would be here all day playing that infamous oof clip over and over and over and over again, because she's not ready. And this is what happens when you have people who have based their campaign of being anti-Trump. And once again, corporate media, I think they put all their eggs in one basket for Nikki Haley. It's quite hilarious how they've been trying to make her out to be this moderate person, when in all reality, Trump probably is more in line to get a Nobel Peace Prize first than Nikki Haley ever would. The fact that Trump comes off as somebody more reasonable to talk about, hey, maybe we should have ceasefire and peace and diplomacy. I know, maybe it's a bridge too far, but in comparison, you know, and I'm not a Republican voter at all. I don't care for the Republican Party, just like I don't care for the Democratic Party. If I had to choose between the two, psycho Nikki, that's not her name, Haley, or Donald Trump, I think I'll choose Trump, because at least he said, I want people to stop dying. But why am I bringing this up? Why is this important? Because, well, God, it really sucks to be Nikki Haley right now. Hang on, folks. This is going to make you kind of maybe sort of feel bad, but then you're going to laugh.
You said one final poll, guys. Who is still undecided in this diner? Undecided? Who's going for Nikki Haley in the diner? And who's going?
That's funny.
And who's going for former President Donald Trump? Okay, guys. I'll send it back to you guys in New York.
Rachel Maddow's probably crying in the corner when she heard all of them scream out for Trump.
So one final poll, guys. Who is still undecided in this diner? Undecided? Who's going for Nikki Haley in the diner? And who's going for former President Donald Trump?
Oh, but it gets better. It gets better, folks. Hold on. It does. This right here. Undecided voters weigh in after a town hall. Now, there was a town hall. Nikki Haley and Donald Trump did their own respective town halls. Now, I find them to be boring at this point, and I think the battle's a foregone conclusion. No, I don't say this as an endorsement, but I've been doing this since 2017, and I think it's fair to make a correct statement, and I'm pretty sure all of you, my audience, can agree too, whether you're a Republican voter or not. Trump's going to win the Republican nomination. He is popular amongst his supporters. When Keaton from Due Dissidents went to New Hampshire, the evidence was abundantly clear even there. Trump has a huge amount of support from the people. And it does call into question that after a Trump presidency, yes, Rachel Maddow, yes, vote blue no matter who, yes, all you liberals who have Trump derangement syndrome, there will be a time after Trump. It does call into question what will happen to the MAGA movement, who will be the next successor to run it, because Trump right now has the people. He kept his political organization together. And listen to these statements from these people in regards towards that South Carolina town hall.
Why don't we do a show of hands?
Yes. If any of you change your votes.
Yes.
I was leaning Trump. I'm definitely going to vote Trump now.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Same.
Yes.
I went to both the Nikki Haley town hall and now the Donald Trump town hall, and I can safely say that I think I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
Matt?
Well, like you said last night, I was 50-50, you know, kind of riding the line, but Trump really pulled pretty hard today. I really enjoyed we didn't have to talk jokes. Let's just talk policy. And for once, we got that out of Donald Trump today.
I think what we've seen here, though, yesterday, at least 3 of you were very undecided. Donald Trump really flipped this, and now we have a unanimous panel of Trump supporters.
Yes.
Did you expect that's where you'd land, Eric?
Well, when he read that thing about the 8th Amendment, because my biggest fear also was the legal challenges. And to me, even though it was simplistic, it showed me he had at least a strategy. Like he has a plan to get out of these troubles. And for me, when he said that he was doing it for America, I believed him. And so therefore I felt to myself, I owe him that at least.
Now, here's the thing. You all know how I feel about people who vote Democrat or Republican. I feel like a lot of our fellow Americans are hypnotized and brainwashed because of our corporate media and our institutions. However, Politics 101 is the beast that we must continue to follow. Now, I'll explain why. First of all, in the game of politics, even in an ideal world, your job as an elected official or somebody running for office in a republic or a democracy, you need to convince your voters that you are in a position of strength, that you are able to win, even in dire situations. But that goes for business, that goes for entertainment. You must convince your followers and people who support you that you have the strength to lead and to persevere and to win. You win by winning. And Trump is able to convince with his supporters that he is going to walk out of these legal troubles, to which I have to say, I think a lot of these situations that Trump is in is completely BS. I think the fact that you have people who are trying to kick him off the ballot is bull. I think everyone's hyping up January 6th as this end-all, be-all day of a supposedly coup, which was never going to be a thing. It is understandable why Republican voters are going to Trump. He is able to convince them through his own words and posturing, and of course the failure of the Democrats as well, that he can walk out of these legal troubles. Case in point, that situation in Georgia.
To give that vote to him on that,
Yeah.
for that reason.
Matt, when I said to him, you could just say I'm done. Like I can't. This is too much. I mean, for most human beings, it would be too much.
give up.
I mean, my heart breaks for him for what
See
has
it in his
happened.
eyes when, I forget who asked it today, but you could see it in his eyes when he said, I'm not worried about my safety. I'm worried about the safety of this country and its people. That was a very powerful remark by the president.
I think so too.
That line.
Okay, yeah, of course, every single president. Why is this important? Well, because today results are expected around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, because today is the Republican primary. Donald Trump, Nikki Haley. Oh, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, you're still around. So, yes, but let's be clear. It's going to be a battle between Trump and Nikki Haley. My personal opinion is this: Trump will win. I'll be surprised if he didn't. However, the mental gymnastics that Nikki Haley is doing is downright hilarious. It is rather quite sad and pathetic, too. Let me explain why. So many people are hoping that Trump will fail. So many people are hoping that Trump will get arrested and that somehow he's going to lose. But the thing is, he's not losing. He has the support of the people. Now, I have no idea what kind of tribulations he'll have to be going through, especially with the Republican establishment. The Republican establishment has made it clear that they don't want him to be the nominee because they couldn't control him. I guess they assumed that he would be more biddable or more controllable for them, which was never, ever going to be the case. But when we look at how he's been able to stay above the fights and how he's been able to stay above the games that the establishment, the two-party system, is trying to do, it's quite impressive. And it's also quite hilarious to see how everyone in the establishment media are trying to hype up that maybe Trump is done for. He's not. And this is somebody who's gone through his own fair share of, well, BS. Case in point, I want to pull up this interview that Nikki Haley did on Fox News. Folks, this is going to be funny and sad at the same time. Well, it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny for me, but hang on. Don't believe me? Watch it for yourselves and check it out.
This Saturday, the primary. How do you get there beyond this state when you haven't won a state yet? How do you win your first state?
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's amazing to say I haven't won a state yet. You've only had 3 states that have voted.
Well, it's not amazing.
We need to
South-
go.
Oh, I had to. I'm sorry.
Oof. 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 Oof.
I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Let's rewind that.
This Saturday, the primary. How do you get there beyond this state when you haven't won a state yet? How do you win your first state?
I mean, it's amazing to say I haven't won a state yet. You've only had 3 states that have voted.
Well, it's not amazing.
We need
Oh.
to
South
go ahead and
Carolina's
let
winner
these
take
states-
all. I mean, it's
Yeah, but we
it's-
need to let
she's
these
going to pick
states-
up more delegates.
South Carolinians have not voted yet. South Carolinians have not voted yet.
Fair.
Look, if you and everybody else tells me to get out of this race,
I'm not
it would
telling
be
you
the
anything.
longest general election race in history.
Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry. That 33 seconds is absolute murder.
Oof. 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 Oof.
Oof, indeed. But hold on, it gets worse. It gets worse for Nikki. That's not her name, Haley.
Us at 9/11.
Ambassador,
Let's be
I understand that you take it that way and that's what you heard. And we'll have to see how all of this plays out. This president didn't have an invasion by Putin on his watch, the only one in recent presidents. So there is that to be said about.
Of course, Nikki Haley in this short clip trying to make Trump the end-all, be-all threat to democracy. Now, the thing is, everyone can already see it. Everyone can see how this entire battle will play out. Trump is going to be the nominee. The people want him. He came up with the bold strategy of not showing up at any of the debates, and he won because all what the candidates did was talk about Donald Trump. He ignored that loyalty pledge, which, by the way, Republican voters, if you don't think the RNC is going to click, copy, and paste what the DNC is doing, you're kidding yourselves. That loyalty pledge, that's only the beginning. Pretty soon, someday, not today, or maybe not even the next election cycle in 2028, but the Republican Party, if things don't fundamentally change and we're still stuck in this neoliberal nightmare, don't be surprised if the Republican Party starts adopting, hell, let's do super delegates, because that's a thing that can happen. But here we go. We got to talk about how everyone is now curb stomping Nikki. That's not her name, Haley. I think South Carolina is going to be a bloodbath, and it's going to be absolutely humiliating for Nikki.
And so I'm going to speak a hard truth that's relevant to the decision South Carolina has to make in about 4 days. That includes a former governor of this state right here in South Carolina, capturing politicians who have built, 50 miles from here, a Chinese competitor that has competed against this business not on fair terms, but because they had special advantages given to them by a Republican governor of this state, that is Nikki Haley, who rewarded a Chinese company with land, with tax benefits, and as best we can tell, outright financial incentives and gifts bestowed on a Chinese company to compete against a great American company that's doing the same thing right here at home. That's not capitalism. That is crony capitalism, and that's what needs to end. And this is why I say it's not Republicans or Democrats. It's America first versus America last. That's what's at stake in this election.
Oh, Vivek. You are really trying to butter up for that VP spot. But it gets better, folks. Hang on. Like Nikki Haley losing self-identified Republicans in her own home state by 52 points. The party of Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney is dead. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. BSDNC is saying the party of Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan's gone. Oh, no. Anyways, like I give a damn.
Carolina, she is losing Republican self-identified voters by 40 plus points in the course of this. You can't win a Republican nomination losing Republicans by 40 or 50 points. And she's going to lose among Republican voters in South Carolina by 40 to 50 points in this. I mean, this race, as far as a nomination process, is basically over in this. And I think she has to come to the realization, which people like Mitt Romney came to and other Republicans have come to, is that the Republican Party that they once knew no longer is the Republican Party today.
Oh, how sad. That's what you call a big old
Oof. 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 Oof.
I am really looking forward to the final results, but don't worry. Folks, it's not over yet for Nikki Haley, because you want to know why? She does have a friend that you would never expect, because Dime Store, David Duchovny, by the way, I didn't come up with that, but Representative Dean Phillips, who looks like, a cheap clone version of Fox Mulder, Agent Mulder, says he would be more than happy to do what wants to do a team up with Nikki Haley on a unity ticket. Oh, great. Great. He wants to do a unity ticket with Nikki Haley. Hey, folks, let's hear from you, the people. Type 1 for Kit. That's a brilliant idea. Dean Phillips and Nikki Haley, tag team champions. That's the best idea ever. You awful, horrible man. That's what's going to unite America. These two people, they got their fingers on the pulse of America. You just watch. Type 2, man. This will be the most hilarious thing ever. It'll be a complete shite show. It's going to be a burning wreck, and I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it. Come on, everybody. Grab the popcorn and witness two stupid people doing stupid things.
Wouldn't all your listeners be more compelled by maybe Nikki Haley and Dean Phillips getting together on a unity ticket and actually doing for the first time, perhaps in our country's history, what most Americans really want, which is cooperation, collaboration, participation, decency, common sense, leadership? So I'm going to turn the question that way.
Oh, wow. Wow, man. Hey, how about this? The number one issue is the economy. I want to speak on behalf of all 300 million plus Americans here. My wallet's hurting. What are you going to do to fix it? Jag off? I don't care about a unity ticket. Oh, what? Dean Phillips and Nikki Haley holding hands? Oh, yeah. Wow. Great. Awesome. Best friends forever. Yeah. No one cares about that. Nobody cares. Only those lame enough to say, yeah, I care, are the only people going to show up, okay? And you got to get all three of them in the backseat of your car and tell them the truth. Both campaigns, Phillips, Haley, dead in the water.
Because there's no way Nikki Haley will become the nominee in the GOP. And the fact of the matter is right now, the Democratic Party doesn't want competition and seems to want to coronate Joe Biden. So I think the real question
So
is,
as an
are there
independent,
other
let's say
ways?
she ran as an independent, you would run as her VP?
Oh, God. It'll be so embarrassing. It's like that scene from Carrie. They'll laugh at you.
I think it's a conversation that Ambassador Haley and I should have, if that's what this comes down to, in the event of a Donald Trump victory in this November, which is almost certain if Joe Biden is the nominee. I think any American who opposes that should celebrate, encourage, and inspire an alternative that can actually win and lead our country in the way that people want. And I think anybody, including myself, should keep open minds and hearts about that. I hope Nikki Haley does. And I think America could be very well served by some type of a bipartisan ticket that...
No, I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
Restores faith in government, and most importantly, demonstrates to the world that America can work together and restore its extraordinary brand around the entire world. And that's my aspiration, Chad, one way or another.
Thank you.
That is the dumbest thing I ever heard my entire life. I got a unity ticket. Let's do a unity ticket. That is by far lazy. All right. But hey, she's got a friend. But tonight we're going to find out what's going to happen in South Carolina. I personally believe it's a foregone conclusion. Nikki, that's not her name, Haley, is going to lose on a spectacular level in her own home state. The fact that Trump is still gaining momentum, gaining support amongst his followers, says a lot. It is now too little too late. She hasn't won a state. She hasn't won New Hampshire or Iowa. She hasn't been winning anything at all. She is still trailing Donald Trump. Anybody that had a name or had any kind of clout or power in the Republican primary has long since left or already endorsed Donald Trump himself. Donald Trump, who's going through his fair share of legal problems, that hasn't impacted him at all, not one single bit. South Carolina, the primary is going to be happening tonight, and the people of South Carolina, Republican voters, are going to pick who they want to be their nominee. Liberals, vote blue no matter who. Curl yourself up in a blanket and get triggered, because it's going to be hilarious to see how this all plays out. Now, there is a possibility that Nikki can pull a fast one and maybe kind of sort of win South Carolina. We will see. At the end of the day, it is up for the voters to decide. But the battle's clear. Republican voters want Trump, and Trump's going to do everything he can to secure the nomination and to secure the presidency for the general election and going forward. But this is pretty funny. The amount of mental gymnastics that Nikki Haley has to do to prove that she's still a viable candidate is pure gold to me. And I'm going to be laughing tonight, as should all of you. So grab the popcorn and enjoy the show. Enjoy the slaughter. We are all Romans. We are all in the gladiatorial arena, and we are watching a slaughter, the world's most one-sided fist fight caught in real time.